Okay, once again, episode number 3. It says we are live. Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
This is exciting. Bro, do you want to kick us off here, Matt?
I know it's a little anticlimactic because we're here with 5 little windows on the screen, but there could be 1 million people watching or on the recording right now. Billions, could be billions.
We're up over 2.5 million, it says right now. Bing, bing, bing. But who's counting?
It's all good. Thank you. Welcome everybody for being here, for attending live or on the recording. We're live on a few platforms right now. We're doing this every single week, same time, same channel. We're going to be increasing channels as we go. I know we're on LinkedIn Live. I believe we're on Facebook Live, bro, and Twitter or Instagram, one of the other ones, right?
YouTube and Twitter and Facebook.
YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Soon we'll be on TikTok and this one, that one. We'll just keep
It'll get on TikTok. It's just not live, I don't think, but we'll be there.
Got it. So
it's a good thing.
Yeah, welcome to everybody. I'm not going to introduce our special guest because I'm going to leave that up to my brother to do in a minute. But thank you very much, all of you, for being here, and all the people who are watching. I'm excited to be part of this one. I think this is our 3rd one in a row, and this will be great. We'll be hitting a milestone eventually. We'll get to 10, then we'll get to 50, we'll get to 100, and this will be exciting. We have so much good stuff to get into. I'm really excited to share that. Before we get started, I would just say I'm Matt Zembruski, founder of Agile Game Changers. My brother Adam Zembruski here is with Hospiamo. We have a lot of good stuff. We want to showcase this. We want this to be about the people that we're interviewing and that we're showcasing. We want to get into a really deep, good conversation. And Adam will go into that a little bit more. We've had a lot of fun the last couple of weeks. We want this to be unscripted and raw and just get right into just the real people, purpose, and just passion side of the matter. And what we all believe in, and just have real talk as we go through it. My brother is the founder and leader of Hospiamo. It's all about people who move, people who make an impact and have an unstoppable, agile hospitality mindset, which the two of us sort of co-branded there. But it's really important because it's a common thread for small business owners, for career and income development, entrepreneurial ventures. For those of you familiar with Agile, entrepreneurship is very, very closely related to that from a mindset perspective. And today's guest has done what many people think is impossible, and she's going to go into that later. We all have led incredible lives to get here, but today's guest especially has some really cool stories. Can't wait to share that with you. One quick point about Hospiamo. I've known my brother for 40-something years, we'll say plus. I've seen him be passionate about a lot of things. He's really passionate about the hospitality industry in general, and to really innovate the hospitality industry for the people, not just for the business side of it, but for the people. And that's where we were born and raised with a people-centric mindset, and care and love the people. It's an unconventional platform for hospitality impact investments, and there's a lot of big goals that are on the table for that. And I'll let Adam describe that a little bit more, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on that because we're going to get right into an exciting interview and exchange of real story of what's brought Yolanda to be here.
Thank you.
So that's a quick intro, bro. I'll turn it over to you.
I call a lot of people brother, but you are literally my brother. Thank you. Thanks, bro. Would not have been doing this without you. Thanks for pushing me into the deep end of the pool. This is a life-changing opportunity and situation, doing this live, but also doing more podcasting and more interviewing and honoring of people, not only in hospitality, but just people that, like you said, people that move things, people that create things, are actually taking action to impact what I think is to be millions of lives. And so thank you for that generous introduction. we are going to get to Yolanda Adams, a very special person that we're going to spend time talking to today. First, I'm going to say hello to Derek and Dave. Derek Farley, another generous individual who Derek runs a public relations agency, and he has become the public agency of record for Hospiamo. And I just wanted to say thank you, Derek. Having someone like you, even to pick up the phone or text when I call, is just an honor. But the fact that you're representing us means a lot, and so thank you for that, Derek. And
thank you for the opportunity. It was love at first vision, and I really believe in what you're trying to do. And I thank you for the opportunity, and I want to make it work for all of us.
Thank you, Derek. And we got Dave Waldman here, a senior impact investor and a partner here with us at Hospiamo, and also in the Charlotte, North Carolina region. Dave, you're amazing, and thanks for being a part of this at the very beginning, man. Thank you.
My pleasure.
So we're going to spend about 20 minutes or so talking with Yolanda, and then we're hopefully going to have a few moments after for just kind of open dialogue, ask some more questions. If you're listening and viewing this live on LinkedIn or other platforms, please engage. Send some questions. We will see them, if like the things and share and comment, and it'll all show up for us, and it'll show up on your own profiles. And so the more people that engage, the more often we can do this. And we're just very excited. So it's every Thursday at 3:00, right, bro? That we're doing this, and we're staying committed to be consistent in that. So without further ado, so Yolanda Adams is our very, very special guest. I am going to read this because I want to get it right. Okay, so Yolanda is an advocate and empowerment. I use the word champion. So advocate and empowerment champion for the Hispanic and Latino community. She's a family resource coordinator for Watauga Schools in North Carolina, Watauga County Schools in North Carolina, and co-founder and CEO of QuePasa Appalachia.
That's correct.
I am going to show for our millions of viewers out there today, I'm going to share the page here with your information. I cannot wait to have you kind of walk us through some of these pictures and photos, Yolanda. But here it is right here. So find her on Facebook at QuePasa Appalachia, QuePasaAppalachia@gmail.com. Located in Boone, North Carolina, beautiful Boone, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And so that leads me to, I'll say very quickly that I was introduced to Yolanda, who I find to be a game-changing, life-changing relationship of mine, because I've been so inspired by you. I was introduced to you when I was working on another special project in Boone, North Carolina, where I met Andrea Morton and David Jackson. And they both said something similar. They say, Adam, we've gotten to know you a little bit. There's somebody that you absolutely have to meet. Find Yolanda Adams somewhere. She's going to be everywhere. She's everywhere in Boone and Watauga County. And it was like the next day I said, I'm going to go to App State. There was an event at Appalachian State University in Boone. And I saw you, and you were speaking, and I just rushed you. And I said, hi, I'm Adam. So I'm going to remove that real quick, and just, it's been wonderful getting to know you. And for the millions of viewers out there, I'm going to keep saying that, for the millions of viewers out there in the world. We usually ask about the who, what, and why. And so who are you? Where are you? What are you doing? And why do you do it? And then I'll ask you some fun questions here, and we'll get right to it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, first of all, Adam and Matt, for extending this amazing invitation. And actually, thank you so much also to Dave and Derek for being here today. It has been an honor, Adam. Since the moment I met you, I think we had this connection about the passion that we have, and that has always been about serving the community, right? What can we do in order to change someone's life? And I think that's why we connected. So that has been my passion, but I'm going to give you a little bit of my background. I'm original actually from Bogota, Colombia, and I moved to the States over 35 years ago. I migrated to Florida first, and then I end up here in the beautiful mountains of Boone, North Carolina, 21 years ago, which I cannot believe I have survived 21 winters. And but it has been so beautiful and everything. That is who I am. I'm somebody who is absolutely passionate about what I do, because otherwise I don't think I could do the job that I do. So my inspiration has always been every single person that I come in contact with, and I can go ahead and change their life to be better. As an immigrant, we all pack our bags full of dreams and unknowns, leaving everything behind that we knew to try to merge to this beautiful country that has given me more than I ever imagined that it was going to be my dream. So giving back is, I feel, a responsibility from my part, and to make sure that all those other immigrants that I come in contact with, they can also live out their dream. And that's the reason why I do what I do. I'm passionate about empowering our community. I'm passionate about giving them the strength that they need for them to do it on their own. I'm always telling them, I will be your advocate. I can help you. I will interpret for you. I will translate everything that I can do for you. But also, one of the responsibilities that I have is to make sure that you're empowered to do it yourself, especially with their kids' education. Of course, I work for Watauga County Schools as a family resource coordinator. So that has been my goal, to make sure that they know that they're sufficient, there are enough, and they belong in our community. So it has been an absolutely wonderful journey to build bridges. I'm a bridge builder, I will say, to build bridges in our community, to help the community as a whole. And we have to kind of like stop that like ideology of putting people in boxes, because we don't belong in a box. We belong to a community. We belong to the people that we work with on a daily basis and we treat on a daily basis. So that's who I am in a like little nutshell. I'm super passionate. I have a beautiful family, a husband, and 4 kids that absolutely support all my crazy ideas and feel like hard worker and mom. But I could not have done it, definitely without the support of my husband and my kids. They're precious to me.
No.
It's 3 kids. There are 3 boys: Alejandro, 24, Christian, 21, and then Joshua, 16, and Hannah, which is the baby, and the one that takes care of the whole family, who is 14 years old. Yes.
I had the pleasure of speaking with Jay a couple of times on the phone, and I just put his quote on here. Jay is your husband is supporting you here online, and I just wanted to say hi to Jay.
He's my number 1 fan.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's how it should be.
I'm glad that I mentioned at each one of these live events about an inspiration for Hospiamo is an individual. I call him a spirit role model, and that's Roberto Clemente. And not only how he lived his life and what he did for his people and for his community, but he has a quote that is on the front page of Hospiamo.com, and it's going to stay there. I have several references. We have videos of an interview with him from it was a couple months before he passed away, just over 50 years ago. And I read the quote each time, but I'm going to read it in Spanish. Can I try that with you, Yolanda? You give me a grade.
Please. I won't criticize how you pronounce something.
All right, let's see. Let's see how this goes. Okay. I didn't spend it. I just did a Google Translate, boom, and then boom. We'll see how we do. All right. Si tienes la oportunidad de lograr algo que mejorara las cosas para las personas que vienen detrás de ti y no lo haces, estás perdiendo el tiempo en esta tierra.
So true. I can apply it to what I do so much. I absolutely
You said so
agree.
true. Is it a true translation and the pronunciation?
You did amazing. You did pretty amazing. Even with the accents and everything. I love it.
Okay, could you talk to somebody that speaks only in English and tell me what that meant?
Yes.
Okay, so I will read the English translation for our. If you have a chance to accomplish something that will make things better for the people coming behind you, and you don't do that, you're wasting your time on this earth.
Ooh, that's powerful.
And it speaks to that like-minded that Yolanda just expressed in what she does and what her passions are, and it's making things easier, making things better for the people that follow. So we're honoring you not only for your wonderful spirit and who you are and your passions and your beautiful family and how you spend your time and your journey, but also we consider you a person who moves. And so that goes back to some other items that you can read, people can read on the Hospiama website, but we're celebrating people who move because there's a wonderful TED Talk from Sir Ken Robinson. Look it up, you'll find it. It's about the education system in the United States. And he said there's people that are immovable, and then there's people that are movable, and then there's people who move. And things happen. There's impact that happens when you're surrounding yourself with people who move. And I find you fascinating because you have not only lived a life, you have a job, and you've taken your job and executed probably countless families in your community and in the community within Watauga County. And then you started your own social media platform with QuePasa Appalachia, which leads me to a couple fun questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
One, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Been here for almost about 13 years. And I had traveled up to Boone a couple times, but not really a lot until the project brought me up there a couple years ago when I met you. And another wonderful person and family, the Lovins, Denise and Fulton Lovin, who developed and designed and built the Horton Hotel. That's where I met Andrea Morton, who I mentioned. And that was the start of a kind of a life-changing experience for me, being up there and meeting all the people and David Jackson and such. And so I'm from originally, Matt and I are from a small town called Voluntown in Pawcatuck and Stonington, Mystic, Connecticut, southeastern Connecticut near Rhode Island. We were born in Westerly, Rhode Island. Everyone up there calls it the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
And that's what I said when I first visited. I was talking with people. I said, man, these Appalachian Mountains are beautiful. And they're like, no. And Denise, such a wonderful, straightforward person who I appreciate. She said, say this. And she said, throw an Appalachia. And I said, throw an Appalachia. She goes, that's how you say it. I said, really? And I had no idea. And so we probably have some Northerners up there and other people that say it one way or say it the other way. Can you tell us if there is a right way or a wrong way to say that, Yolanda?
I mean, I came here and I was corrected immediately. I mean, with my accent, you have to add my accent, of course, that I have from my country of origin. But yeah, it's Appalachian.
Okay.
And
all
then
right. You heard it here, folks.
I took the N out of my QuePasa Appalachia. So it's Appalachia, but it's Appalachian. Yeah.
Aha, good. Okay. All right. That's important. That's the with the Bogota accent. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think the mountain range is considered Appalachian, but the region is considered Appalachia.
Mhm.
I don't know. We shall see. I think the debate will continue. Maybe we should have another live episode just on that topic.
That sounds wonderful.
It would be
So you're in the educational system, right? So I'm going to ask you for some more education, Yolanda. And I ask this because it's not only me asking and being curious, but the topic comes up a lot, and that is the terms Hispanic community, Latino community, Latina, Latinx, Spanish-speaking community. Is there a right time to use Hispanic or a wrong time, or a right time to use Latino, Latina, Latinx?
Mhm.
Can you help us out a little bit and educate us on, I don't know, if there is a right way?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and jump into hot waters immediately.
I like it.
Okay, so
We'll make it warm, and then we'll warm it up by talking.
right. And of course, everybody has a different opinion, and let me say that I will respect every single one different opinion, but I'm going to give you what it comes from my heart and what my understanding is, since my work is essentially with the Hispanic and Latino community. Okay, so the term Hispanic and Latino, which was the original ones that you have probably heard all your life, reference to Latinos, meaning like somebody who has been born in Latin America, in Latin America, right? So they're called Latinos. Hispanics are also born in Latin America, but they speak Spanish. Okay, so for example, somebody from Brazil who is in Latin America, they're Latinos, but not Hispanic because they don't speak Spanish, they speak Portuguese. Okay. Now, in the past years, you have probably have started to hear the term Latinx, right? So Latinx
I'm sorry, what was that word?
Latinx. You might
Can
not
you
have
spell
heard
it?
it. It's
Can you spell it? I've never heard of it.
yeah. So it's Latinx.
Okay.
So they took the O or the A for Latino or Latina away, and they put the X. And this is because it became like it's basically gender neutral. Okay, so the Latinx.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been used most often in academia. So you hear a lot of this term used in academia, most of it. Okay, so the problem it was that when people started to use the X term at the end in English, it kind of rhymes, right? Latinx, okay? But when you have to say in Spanish, it doesn't sound as pretty. It sounds Latinx, right? So then it's confusing. It's like that doesn't go with their Spanish language. So what they did, like for the Spanish speaking language, is that they replaced, to confuse you a little more, they replaced the X for the E. Okay, so it's Latine. Okay, that is used. That's a new term that is kind of coming back because they feel like it was imposed into the Latino community to all of a sudden change it to Latinx, and it didn't rhyme, it didn't go as fluent, basically. So they use the term Latine. All this has become because we want to be obviously inclusive to gender neutral. The thing is, and what I have done research with our families and everything is like I asked them, how do you feel about the term Latinx? Is that something that you can identify with? And our families didn't. So then at that point, I realized that I need to know the audience that I'm treating in order to know what term it is the adequate for me to use. So for our families, we use the Latino and Hispanic terms because after all, there was a survey done by Gallup, which says that new term Latinx or Latine is only used by 4% of actually the Latino and Hispanic community. Now, so I have to think about the other 96%. What are we going to do? Do we ignore that or we don't? So I have chosen not to ignore it. So I pay attention to my audience. And of course, like you have heard now, like about what are your pronouns, right? If you want me to use the specific pronouns, I will respect that they use them as the same way as I will respect and use the term Latinx if that's what they prefer.
If I was writing down keywords of what you were writing, you use the word respect probably most, and then audience,
Right.
and so that's a great learning for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people. So respect the audience and just offer respect and ask questions, which it's a little bit uncomfortable to sometimes.
Yeah, the only issue with that when you have an audience, you're going to have 100 different opinions.
Right.
That's the toughest hurdle I've ever gotten over with public speaking. I can ask a person of color what is the right way to say this, because I don't want to offend anyone. Exactly. Or a person of Hispanic or Latino origin, what is the best way to address this? And you ask 12 people, you get 13 different answers, and it's a real challenge. It's a real challenge.
It's a real challenge for sure.
Yeah, I equate it to I do a lot of speaking with people call them special education children, special needs, special talents, and I'm just tired of all the things that follow special. Everybody's special, so why don't we just call them special? It's obvious that they've got the talents, and we all do, and it's obvious that we've all got needs. And we do, but that's not limited to Down syndrome people or anybody that's struggling with that stuff. I just wish we'd get rid of all the follow stuff. We're all special. All right, that's my soapbox.
Yeah.
That's what. Thanks, Derek. Thank you. And if we boil it down to everyone's special, everyone's human, everyone's to offer respect. I think that's if we take away anything from today, that's a great message.
So I have a question for you, if you don't mind, Yolanda, focusing specifically on the value that you feel we collectively at Hospiamo and you independently, what are your thoughts on the contribution to the hospitality industry that you directly, with our assistance, support, and partnership, can impact the goal of Hospiamo to once again empower the folks in the hospitality industry and just make a significant impact? Please highlight real quickly what things that you think we could do collectively together in the coming months and in the future to make that impact.
Right. So, wow, that's I can talk for hours on this topic, but
I'll give you a specific example.
Yes.
And we have one, Dave. I mean, we have me in the hospitality industry. I got involved with a hotel in Boone. And following the path of listening to people that were local and aware, found that I started asking questions like, "Hey, who else is like-minded in our views of, call it, hospitality mindset, right?" And that's when David Jackson and Andrea Morton and others said, "You should really talk to Yolanda because she represents." And she's an advocate for the Hispanic and Latino community. And hospitality employs a significant percentage or a portion of our employment is with the Hispanic and Latino community as an industry, right? So it would be very natural to say, how can we as an industry or maybe one hotel engage that community? And so I'm kind of answering the question, but that is what we did. And that was one of the reasons why we did it, not because of that community, but it was connecting passion with two different worlds. And that's where the beauty happens there. So Yolanda, did you want to add anything to that? Am I accurate in saying like that's kind of how things work?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And Dave, to tell you the truth, I have found that there's a lot of misconceptions. Sometimes I feel like towards the Latino communities, like, oh, they just like want to get something from the government, like all these misconceptions and everything. But there's so many of us who wants to come here, do the hard work, and give back to the community. So that's basically where the main focus for me has been, also to provide any resources that our families needs to be successful, right? But at the same time, it's educating and telling them you want to give back to this amazing community that has given you so much. Let's go ahead and do it, regardless if even if there is a language barrier, right? Let's take that component away, because I even do it with our parents that we work with in Watauga, right? It's like you can sit down with your children and read a book in Spanish and ask questions of comprehension questions, and you're not hurting the child, you're helping the child. So let's transfer that to, you know, the regular work scenario and Hospiano in this case. You have to do the same thing. In order for them to give back, you have to allow them and give them the resources that they need in order for them to not only give back, but grow in your company, right? So that's where the empowerment comes from. So that is absolutely essential, because they need to know that you trust that they have everything in their power to be successful like anyone else who currently live in the United States or are coming to the United States.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Dave, that's an excellent question, because it involves the circle of connecting community. And, you know, Yolanda, that's another word that you're using a lot, and it is about community. And a community can be a living room. A community can be a county. A community can be a store or a hotel. A community can be a Hispanic or Latino community. You use the word trust also, about trusting a person if they are employed. Allow them the opportunity and empower them to stay connected or get connected with their community and then grow together. So you taught me a new word, and let's spend about 10 more minutes, bro, or we're going a little bit over. You're my timekeeper. Can I do that?
Yeah, it sounds good. Let's do it. I
know. Yeah. Gents, I have a hard stop, so I'm going to have to say.
Okay, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave. Wonderful. A pleasure meeting you.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Good to see you, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave.
So, Yolanda, you taught me a word, semillas, if I'm saying that right, SEMILLAS, and that means seeds in Spanish, right? So, touching on what Dave was asking about, and also about what we're talking about as far as like how you move, right, and how you create things. And so you do a lot for your community and for the county and for the area. And it can be boiled down to, you create programs, you speak a lot at events, you sponsor events with QuePasa Appalachia, right? And you also, of course, have your position within Watauga County Schools. You threw out a couple numbers, and so to give everybody some perspective on this, and correct me if I'm wrong, you shared, I asked you how many families that you are you serve and have served. So you've been doing this particularly with the school system for 10 years. Right. And you currently serve 375 families within the Hispanic and Latino community. And also through QuePasa Appalachia, there's like more like 1,500 families and individuals there. Now, for those of you who might not be familiar with Watauga County, it's where Boone is. It's where Appalachian State University is, with 20,000 students. It is what the census, would consider a low population, tourism dependent market or community, which means there's over 15 hotels just in Boone, 20,000 students, and about 20,000 other year-round residents. And so there's also Blowing Rock, which is just south, which is also a very strong tourism destination. And so you think about employment and you think about people and how that might be affected. So 375 families over 10, and you're doing this, and you have been doing it for 10 years. So I asked you for some pictures and some success stories, and I think that we could possibly stay on here for 4 hours, but we're not. But you told me about I said, well, how might that affect someone that went through their life the way that you found your life? You were born in Bogota, Colombia, Florida, and then immigrated into the United States and Florida, and then found your way into to the Boone area. And you put me in the mindset of like a mom with children going into the school system. And I didn't mention this, but it's very easy for me right now. After this call, I could call my son's high school and say, hey, I want to go in there and read a book. I want to go in there and talk about the hospitality industry. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they'll say, sure, let's look at some dates. And I would go over there and I would go. For someone that doesn't speak English, right? That or using English as maybe as a second language, and a child that has English as a second language, to engage that individual and reach out and bring them into the school system and make them feel comfortable, you almost brought me to tears, because it's a beautiful thing of what you're doing. And so I know that can you express about that, what you do with making a parent or mom and a child feel comfortable going into an environment that they are initially very uncomfortable for them?
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
when you say the word semillas, which is seeds, I actually created a program that is called Semillas. So Semillas is a program, is the motto is planting seeds for dreams. So it is like a 5-week workshop that we work with families to basically dissect what the school system in the United States in the United States is compared to the ones in their country. So if you move forward one more picture, Adam, so this is actually a group of the Semillas program that I have right here. So we met with families of first, second, and third graders in this specific school that is Parkway School, and we did this pilot program. And what we did was we basically explained them all the resources and everything that is available for them in the school, because I felt that there was not a link to the families inside the school. So with this, what we did we brought all the stuff that is so important in any school system, that is like, the teachers, the social workers, the principals, the SROs, and we introduced them to the families. We created that link because after all, the parents are the ones that have to be the number one team member in their kids' education. So by doing this, we cut that barrier of them feeling that they're not welcome inside of the school. Right? They are welcome inside of the school, and they attended this all this series, and now these parents are very involved in their kids' education, know that their language, because they're Spanish speaking, that is not a barrier for them to be involved in their kids' education, but also are involved within the school. So that has been absolutely amazing. And we always provide childcare and a meal to prevent any barriers for them not to be able to participate. And it has been an amazing ride. And from there, we have developed many other programs, because as working also as an interpreter and translator, I hear the concerns that they have, and then I see where the gaps are. So my responsibility is like to bring those resources and those programs to make sure that we close those gaps, and they know exactly how the system works, right? But we extend it outside of the community. So the first picture right here is like the Semillas program. The one on the top in the corner, it's mental health, which is a taboo topic for any culture, but it's very high specifically for the Hispanic community. The one in like the round table in the bottom is a meeting with SRO and law enforcement. We have done a great and tremendous work with law enforcement, where our families feel advocated and taken care for and protected by law enforcement. They see them as friends and not like this authoritarian figure who they're scared of. That is gone in our community, which I feel like that has been one of my biggest accomplishments, because I thought that was going to be impossible, and it has been absolutely amazing. It has been a win-win situation, not only for the community, Latino community, but for law enforcement as well. So talking about like law enforcement, you can go to the first pictures that I have, which is an amazing family that I absolutely love.
Please share that. I said, do you have any like really big success stories? And the first person that you mentioned was Carlos. And so please tell this story.
So the Escobar family is extremely, I mean, I feel like my family have extended to over 400 members, because every single family that I serve, I feel like is like my family, but this family has such a special place in my heart. But this is a perfect example. So Carlos, that you see here with the gear, when he was 15 years old, I started a program that it was called the Café con Leche with a cup, like the coffee with a cup. So we're starting to do interventions like that. And then the Boone Police Department and the Sheriff's Department, they started to do this program to talk, to help kids, any kids in our community who wants to learn about law enforcement. And this was one of the cases. And Carlos went and tried the gear. And at that point, he definitely didn't have anything in her dream to become a law enforcement. But the seed was planted on that day. A month ago, we went to his graduation from law enforcement, and he's actually the first Hispanic Latino representative for Boone Police Department. And this is actually the picture of his parents, who are immigrants. He also have 3 amazing sisters who are just changing the world. And this is just a perfect example of what it is to empower somebody to do what they want to be, regardless of any barriers that they might have been in their life. So this is just beautiful. I just love it.
It's absolutely beautiful, and it's the beauty that is created with like you said, a seed. It's like somebody planting that seed for dreams. You said semillas, right? So please say hello to Carlos for us, and shout out to the Boone, I guess Boone Police Department also. And congratulations on this, and thank you for sharing that.
Yes,
that was you made our lives here. So that's really great. And so he was is he in the early 20s now? I mean, I guess
I think he just turned 21, because they have to be 21. So they're doing all the paperwork, whatever it is, after they graduate from the academy. And so all the paperwork is in Raleigh. So his swearing is going to be like in the next couple of weeks. I am so sorry posting some pictures about that, but it was so emotional and so wonderful. This family is, like I say, is dear to my heart. And this is another example, like the one that you just passed, the Boone, the one before this, our community declared the Hispanic Heritage Month by the town of Boone. So this was the celebration and invite. It's not about one person. It's about the community. A lot of people, it's like, oh, you do all this stuff for the community. But if I didn't have the community, I could not do what I do. Do you know what I mean? So it's not, it's, if I give, they're ready to give back. So this is about a full effort and just celebrating our community, bring awareness and just empowerment.
So I'm going to go to the original slide. And so you had mentioned that on June 17th, coming up in a couple weekends, Boone is celebrating their 2nd annual Boonerang Festival. Last year, Boone celebrated 150 years, right? And QuePasa Appalachia is a sponsor for that event. It's a major event in Boone, North Carolina. I would invite everybody within driving distance to check it out. But specifically, if you feel inspired to support Yolanda and QuePasa Appalachia, please, this is how you can do it. Yolanda, correct me if I'm wrong. Go to Facebook. Everyone's got Facebook. Type in QuePasa Appalachia, and you'll find her. Email at QuePasaAppalachia@gmail.com. And I would say just put in the subject, I want to make an impact with you, maybe.
Yes, absolutely.
I just made that up. I mean, but that is what the subject would be. So people that are listening here, if you're feeling the spirit to do so, contact Yolanda, and you can help her and that community make a really big difference.
Absolutely. And I can also be like a consultant for any other, community that want to do something like this, replicate something. How did you start it? It has been a labor of 20 years. It's not just, I have been 10 with Watauga County Schools, but I have been here in this community for 20 years. So I know the hurdles. I know what it has been hard. I know where to go step by step. So I'll be more than glad to, help anybody to achieve this.
Yeah, if you live near a school, contact Yolanda. That's what we're saying. If you live in the school district. Yes, I'm glad that you mentioned that. You're also an excellent speaker. I've seen you speak. I've watched you on panels. You touched me particularly last year at Vision NC or Vision Northwest NC. The conference that talks about the emerging workforce and the workforce of tomorrow. Wonderful event. And you spoke specifically about a sense of belonging as humans. And it's a natural desire to feel like you belong somewhere. And there's a lot of words going around that diversity, inclusion, but really when you spoke, it touched me because it is a sense, like a sense of humor, a sense of belonging. You feel like you belong, and that's what you've done for so many families. And that's our connection with hospitality and with hotels. That is what we want people to feel when they enter in a hotel or a restaurant or a venue, is to make them feel like they belong, especially the team members and employees and the managers. And allowing them to connect with their own community and give back. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget. I asked you if you knew of a book or something that you might be able to refer to. So anyone that's listening that might want to learn more about this general aspect. And you mentioned Emily,
Yes.
who's I think a friend of yours. Do you want to hold that? There you go.
Yeah. Here it is. Oh, the camera is kind of. So I actually had the pleasure to meet Emily Francis at one of the Latinx summits. And I actually, we were both a panelist in one of the sessions that they had. And I have heard so much about her. She's a powerhouse. I mean, absolutely a powerhouse. And she wrote this book, and it's Letters from an Immigrant Teacher. She's an ESL teacher. And her story itself, I told her, you need to now write a biography, because, I mean, her story itself deserves a book. But it's very... a lot of inspirations you will find in these little books. It has like little stories of different students and events that have happened, and it's just lovely, because you don't have to sit down and read the whole thing. If you want something to inspire you, you can just look for one and just read it. But it's absolutely amazing. So I highly recommend this. This book is just absolutely beautiful, and there's so many others that I cannot come to. Solito is an amazing book also that I will recommend. It is the story of a child who migrated to the United States by himself, being just, I feel he was like 11 years old and did the journey by himself to meet mom and dad who were already.
What is the name of that book again?
It's called Solito.
Does that mean alone? Solito?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yes.
So look, y'all look that up, and also, so it's called "If You Only Knew" by Emily Francis, the book that Yolanda was holding up, and I'll add that to the description here when we're done.
Yes.
So that's beautiful. If we will start to wrap up here, if that's okay with everybody, and Derek, Matt, did you find any questions or anything online? Anything pop up that you wanted to ask Yolanda about?
No new questions came in online. We covered them all. There were some good comments that were shared. And Yeah, no, really, really excited to be here and to hear a lot of this for the first time, Yolanda. I'm excited for the audience to grow and grow for this particular episode, so more and more people can really understand the impact that you make on that area. I only imagine how important it is for the community of immigrant community coming to the United States to know that there's a safe, welcome place that they can go to in Boone. So that's really it's a blessing what you do, and I know it's taken decades to build everything you built there. So thank you so much for sharing it with the wider audience and with the world.
No, again, thank you to Matt, to you, Matt, Adam, and of course Derek and David for extending the invitation and for your willingness to hear from. I have a saying that I just love people that hear from their heart, not with their ears. Yeah,
I like that.
Well said. Well said. So yeah, Adam, we're good. You want to thank?
I'll just say hi to Mark Alvarez. Mark Alvarez, you just popped up his comment there. Mark, man, I worked with Mark. He lives in the Miami area. He works for a wonderful company, Gaines. I want to make sure I get that right, Mark. Gaines Hospitality. You just merged from formerly HP Hotels. Mark is Spanish speaking. He is an inspiration to me. As I was working with him a few years ago, he went to go get his master's degree. Wonderful human being. So Matt, you just picked Mark Alvarez right there, and I just saw him pop up, and I just wanted to say hi, Mark. Thanks for supporting, and man, you're Rains Hospitality. Thank you, Rains. Sorry about that, man.
Hey,
Carrie's going to be upset.
Adam, can I pipe in real quick?
Please do, Derek. Yeah.
I just created a hashtag called Clone Yolanda.
Yes, I need that. I need that because I need help.
Rocks. And I am an absolute Post-it note junkie. And I usually get off a call like this with about 5, and I've got about 12 here. But that's the first one, because what I found in everything that she said is pride. And that is beautiful, because and ironically, it is Pride Month, and I just feel like the pride that she puts into her work, and what are the words I wrote down for her? Awareness, advocate, encouragement, build bridges, not walls. All of those things are great. We don't have labor shortages. We have attitude shortages, and she is not one of them. And by golly, if I would work for her tomorrow, I want to get the pride back, and whatever that word means to anyone. But she takes care of her people. She lives a wonderful family life. It shows in her work and everything that I've heard. And I told Adam when we first started this relationship, he had me from disengaged to engaged. If you can get people, because the hospitality industry used to be just a really revered, reveled. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm a PR guy, so I can make up stuff. It's just a great industry to be in. And now, I hear horror stories. Like, there's this pizzeria. This is one of the best pizzerias in Charlotte. And the guy flew in, the owner, who I'm friends with, flew in and had 10 appointments scheduled, and no one showed up. Not one. Didn't call, didn't anything. I said, did you have the address wrong or the sound wrong? Nope, that's just the way it is. So when you find someone like Yolanda, who has pride in what she does, that is the key to getting the disengaged to engage, because someone cares about you, and someone that loves you in a very professional manner. But, again, I've always felt during this whole thing that it's not about labor shortages, it's about attitude shortages. And I just love the fact that she is very prideful and what she does. And I really appreciated all the words of encouragement. And I took 12 Post-it notes. So thank you, Yolanda.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate you.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. You are what it's all about.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will segue from what you just were sharing, Derek, and that the disengaged to engaged is a very real number that through our research, some of the research was done when I was working on the project with Boone and David Jackson, and it's related to a research that we did, and we came up with there's 150,000 hospitality managers at hotels, and that the number of engaged versus disengaged and versus actively disengaged is 7% versus the national average in all industries at 32. And so we have a number of 50,000 managers over the next 5 years that we are going to convert from disengaged to engaged. And that'll get us over 33%. And we were at like over 40% about 25 years ago in this industry, and we will get back. And it's infectious. Attitudes are infectious, stronger than any pandemic. And we're magnetism at the greatest. And Yolanda, you are the strongest magnet out there. And particularly so what we're going to try to start a revolution and say clone Yolanda, Derek. And so hashtag if we can do that, then I mean that's we'll just do that tomorrow. And it'll be done. Thank you to our millions of listeners out there in the world.
One question. We had a question come in real late, bro, just to throw it in. I put it up on the board, but Carolyn was asking, do you have team members that support you, Yolanda? Because I know you talked about a lot of stuff that you and your organization do. And one of the viewers was just curious, how big is your team? Do you have a good support structure in place?
Caroline, believe it or not, this is my team right here. But I have to say that because I work for Watauga Schools, my immediate supervisors and people that I work with have been amazing at supporting. And I have partnered with so many people from within Watauga Schools and outside of Watauga Schools, like the Chamber of Commerce and everything. So there's always, you might not have a team like itself, like I wish. And that's one of my hopes, to have like a team to train, to start cloning, myself. But in the meantime, I rely on those partnerships that I have with so many members in our community that also live and breathe that passion that I have. And it works out. So far, it has worked out. I want to bring it bigger and better and bring it to other communities. So I know that I will hopefully have a team soon. But yes, definitely relying on my community partners, which are essential to what I do.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Bennett Jarvis. Shout out to you. Thanks for asking that great question. Yes. You mentioned something about team, and they don't necessarily need to be employees, right? They don't necessarily need to be coworkers or superiors or people that report up to you. You have built a team around you, and I've seen it at work. And they are very loyal and passionate about listening to you. And you do create places where people feel like they belong. And that is a rare commodity that we wish to clone, right? And it is connecting your message here at this live event. And this will be on a loop, I think is a beautiful thing. It's about what you're doing is we're shining a light on what you are. I mean, what you're doing and who you are. Jay said she has a good secretary and idea guy. That's good. All right. Shout out to you, Jay.
Definitely team members. He's one of my team.
He's number one. I'll say that this show is also about mentors and supporters. I always give a shout out to my bro for what will be 3 days from now, 49 years that you've been my number one mentor and coach. So thank you, Matt, for
Matt
everything.
Matt does a great job. He really does.
Yeah.
Thank you, Derek.
Wonderful coordinator. He looks 26. I don't know how he's pushing that number, but whatever.
Well, that was my birthday's coming up, but he was from day one. He's got me by a few. I got a haircut for this event.
Adam, you and I can go to the same bartender and get a 2-for-1 special.
No, I love you,
good.
bro.
Well, thank you, everyone. We'll
I was just going to say your big day's coming up soon, but Yolanda was the center for today, and with everything you're saying about mentorship and just leadership in the industry, it really takes people to help people grow and expand. And it was just really, it's great that you were available to spotlight your success and what you're doing, Yolanda, today, because it's so powerful. And we want this to be the beginning of something great, or continuation and expansion of something great for yourself as well. And to that point, for people who are interested, I know we're going to put the information for how to contact Yolanda in the comments on the various social platforms, right?
Perfect.
Adam, I know we shared it earlier, but and there it is there if people want to take a look at it. But we'll also put the links in when this is posted as well, just so that's clear, because I'm sure there'll be some people watching this on the replay that have other questions. Maybe they want to reach out to Yolanda for another purpose, or reach out to you, Adam, or Derek, or me, or whoever. But that way, it's all there in one place, and people can go grab it.
I'll give our Hospiamo crew and Agile Game Changers a quick plug here too. So if you're curious about Hospiamo, it's a website, hospiamo.com, hospiamo.com /y. You can find out why we're doing this, /join. If you are feeling the spirit to join, we are accepting members to this movement. You can learn more about that. You can learn more about me. You can click on the Calendly app and schedule 30 minutes with me in about 7 seconds. Okay. I got an open calendar usually, for particular times. And so I would love to talk to anyone interested about that. And you can reach me there. Matt, if I use the word Scrum because people have heard of it, but as a Scrum Master, but you're an Agile coach, certified in so many things that I wish more people in hospitality would become certified in, but they don't realize that they're already doing it, and they're great project managers. And so you're an Agile coach. And if you want to find out more about that, go to Agile Game Changers. You can find us. There's not many Zembruskis on LinkedIn, but if you could type in Zembruski Agile or Zembruski Hotel, you're probably going to find one of us. And so Derek and his site, you can also find Derek Farley on LinkedIn. Connect with him. Derek, is there a website that you can refer people over to?
Under rebuild, bud. Under rebuild.
Got it. Okay, so I know you're all over LinkedIn. Yep. And Yolanda, as a reminder to everybody, as a phone number here, you have Facebook, you're all over Facebook and other platforms too, but connect with her at QuePasa Appalachia on Facebook, QuePasa Appalachia at Gmail. And so I will continuously say, throw an Appalachia as a way, because you set me right. And thank you to Boone and your community that's supporting you. And Watauga County Schools has created an environment for you and your wings to flap and fly freely, and to allow your passions to come in through. And so recognizing them too, and also the Boone Police Department, and congratulations to Carlos. We mentioned a lot of names here, and I will make a commitment to find people like Carolyn Bennett Jarvis, and I'll mention them for asking great questions. And so if you get connected on LinkedIn and you see us mentioned, please forward it to your connection, because this voice with Yolanda and things that she's doing and has to say, then the cloning makes it it makes it easier to clone her and her attitude throughout the Americas. So thank you, Yolanda. Thank you for everyone listening and watching. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Derek. And thank you, Dave Waldman, for joining with us and being a partner here. So Yolanda, bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
all
everything.
so much again. I
and
really
congratulations with
appreciate it.
everything. And we will we'll have to do this again sometime.
Oh, yes. So much more to talk about.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.